I'm your host, Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. This is Difficult People Chronicles. Today's episode is called Us Against the World. This is for people in relationships, partnerships, situationships, whatever you want to define. If y'all work well together, work together. But if y'all don't work well together, don't make it work. Because some people are not meant to work together. Sometimes it's just a disaster waiting to catch fire. If you started a business together, created a project or something in the works together, one party should not have to question your loyalty. Meaning, one party shouldn't have to feel you are competing against them, going against the grain. That's what we used to say back in the day, going against the grain. I don't know if people still say it now, but yeah, going against the grain. That means going against what we're working towards, the major goal. You just going off in the opposite direction. Like my friend and I were talking and agreeing about a situation, and we agreed that competition has to be healthy. And I said, I embrace competition, but I don't like when I don't know someone is competing against me, because what it really boils down to is jealousy or envy, the person just looking at you sideways because you making moves, and not that I'm making this move to benefit us. When you are in a togetherness dynamic, your goal should be, like he said, us against the world, and not the other person waiting for your either downfall or you to be embarrassed or you to fail. You have to question their motive. One of the questions I asked about a particular situation when I was telling him, and we were talking, I said, one of the questions you got to ask when things just don't seem right, where do we stand? Because I'm standing here and you should be standing here too, not over there, not down the street. Because if you are not for me and I have to go home, if we are even married, and think about what are you thinking about, trying to do to me, what's your plan, what's your motive, what are you not saying to me? Because trust me on this, walking away is easy. So if I have to ask those type of questions, it's no question when I walk away. And when it comes to my peace, you are not a part of the equation. We are living in a spiritual warfare, like I tell everybody all the time. And trust has to be balanced. I'm not going to fully trust you off the bat. You have to earn it. God has to tell me that you for me and you right. Because what I find is that when I use my own judgment, things just go left. And you know me with my examples. So here's the example. You have Melanie, who is preparing and going for a higher position. Then you have Reggie and Lenora. Reggie and Lenora are both part of the management team, CEO, COO, CFO, whichever one you want to choose. And Reggie and Lenora are married. They all work for the same company. So what I said is, when it came to the situation, is why Lenora didn't say anything. But she is trying to probe for the outcome, or how much do people know? When it's clear she knows more than she knows. And as she talks, she's telling on herself, slipping. So here's the situation. Melanie wants to work for Reggie in a higher position. Reggie wants Melanie to work for him. Lenora knows that there are people blocking the move. My question is, everybody works in different areas of the company. My question is, why didn't Lenora confide in her husband and tell him? This is the part where you sit back, raise your eyebrow, and say, I see you, heifer. For real. So what I said in confidentiality, I said shut that down. Meaning keep Lenora on the outskirts until otherwise. Silence. Reggie and Melanie feel like something else is going on. Reggie got to connect the dots. Melanie already see it. Lenora is the only one that don't know, and whatever is being done is going to harm Reggie and Melanie. Either position, whatever, or maybe something is going to happen down the pipeline and they're going to have to do damage control, wasting energy. The way it should be is, and I think my friend said it best, us against the world. People, meaning people like Lenora, have a tendency to kill that pillar, cloudbuster, tower, dynamic picture when they do dumb nonsense. What I said was, I was upset that Melanie trying to go for a higher position and her moves is basically being blocked, or decisions was already made to keep her where she's at for a little longer. And I'm praying that she get to that position, that higher position. And it's right, because sometimes people, God will hold you from that position for other reasons until he say, it's time. But I hope that whatever happens for Melanie's best interest. The part I really just didn't like is that Lenora knew something was going on and never said anything. See, Reggie is burning out. He's literally burning out. And he needs Melanie on board. And Melanie wants the position. Lenora's already set. She has everything she needs. So now it just became a situation where I felt, is Lenora jealous? Because she doesn't want her husband to get to that next level. And it happens a lot of times. You have two people who are together, married in the same position, or they could be in different positions, working at different companies. And it's like one party don't have anybody in the world to compete with, so they want to compete with their significant other. And the significant other has no idea that's what's going on. One of the things I always say, when you try to F someone over, you end up F'ing yourself. And I'm not going to curse. And it doesn't feel good. My new saying is, when you trying to cut throat, sometimes you end up cutting your throat in the process. Check your lifeline. What are you aiming for? Sometimes in any partnership, you have to reassess things. Is this going to work? Are we on the same page? Not in the back of the book, not the cover. Are we on the same page? What page are you on? Is this going to work out for my best interest? And when you say my best interest, that's because the other party is thinking about themselves, or they're doing otherwise. When the other party starts to do otherwise, you got to start thinking about your best interest, because you are going to be on the opposite side of the tracks, and the person is going in the opposite direction. I asked, at what point did things change? Because marriage and business is heavy. I say heavy. A lot of times in relationships, people say things, hurt feelings, this and that. Sometimes it could be that one argument that just takes the whole relationship off course, and it takes a lot of energy just to do damage control. But what I said was, one of the things I say is that when things backfire in the wrong direction, like one person coming for the next person, and the next person never knew that person was coming for them, meaning trying to harm them or tear up their image. In this world, I say, when you try to harm a good person, keep playing with God, God's children. God is the all. He will create all. He will end all. He is the Alpha and the Omega. And the only thing you could say is good luck with that. You hear? Good luck. So I hope, like I said, that Melanie gets to that position. If it's meant to be, I hope she gets there. And if Lenora knows that the position is meant for Melanie, rightfully, but she knows the other people, or whoever the powers that be are, she knows that those people are not right, and she knows what they're up to, and whatever it is, her husband is entangled in it, she gonna meet her day too, because God don't forget anything. A lot of times it's like years later, and That same person be crying, talking about they don't understand why life is unfair because the one thing they wanted or something happened. It's crazy how people don't think about things like that. Anyway, that's the message for you. The message is, let competition be healthy. You know, if you don't have anybody to compete with yourself. You know, tell yourself you're going to do better in whatever area tomorrow or next week. Compete with yourself, because the worst thing in the world you could ever do is compete with someone that don't know you competing against them. That means when you win at competing, you end up back at ground zero. Why? Because everybody's clueless about whatever you're so happy about. You're competing with yourself. Really, you're really not competing with the other person. The other person don't even have a clue that you're competing with them, and you look stupid. Technically, you look stupid. And the other person looks at you like you're just jealous and envious. Why? Because they don't even realize that you competing against them, and it just looks dumb. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a blessed one. Love me more and I love you more. For one-on-one sessions, group sessions, or for a suggested topic, email me at sfj.peace@gmail.com, or you can go to my webpage, seriouslyfocusedjohnnie, and email me. Check me out on YouTube. Check out Facebook. Have a blessed one. Later.